so that when we get to secondary school, we have a much higher percentage of our students who are numerate and literate in the basics and critical thinking, and that, a targeted approach to that, because I do believe that trying to solve these problems at the secondary school level is too late.
Too late.
Yeah, and we can solve them early on, and those children will be set right for the rest of their lives.
I can hear many of our listeners muttering, boy, what a way this man have good answer, but why when PNP in power we don't carry it all through?
Well, Ronnie, the PNP has been responsible for delivering so many positive things. I mean, the public health system that we're now relying on to keep, it was built out by the PNP in the 70s. Free education was a PNP policy, and so many people in Jamaica were empowered by that, from common entrance under Norman Manley. When it used to be 2 scholarships to the people per parish, he opened it up to an meritocratic system so that all bright children had a chance, and then Michael Manley expanded it exponentially in the 70s. So we have a history of delivering those types of things. The truth is, the last PNP government inherited a situation where the debt of the country was overwhelming. It was really bankrupting the nation, and we had to spend 4 years righting that. And it was a major achievement for the long-term future of the country. But it did mean at the time that there was just not the fiscal space, as it's called, the available resources to do everything we'd like to do in the social sector. Fortunately, Ronnie, those reforms have borne fruit, and we have significantly more resources available. So the question of priorities now comes up. How do you spend the money that you have? Do you spend it on building more and more highways, or do you start to reallocate some of that to dealing with the situations in the poorer communities, which is feeding the crime mill that Jamaica is on? Do you start to improve sewage systems? Do you start to improve street lighting and garbage collection, those things? Do you focus on primary schools that are not delivering results for the children and level up the standards so that all children in the primary school system...
Suppose you gave rebel youth some work in building public infrastructure, properly supervised, no crash program, doing necessary things. Do you think that would help with crime?
I think you need to have a national program for the youths who are either not in university or not in an apprenticeship on a job. The ones who are on the corners, digging out them hand middle and getting lured into a life of crime and status through the gun. We need to provide a program that provides mentorship for them, training, remedial education and training, a stipend that encourages them to go through the course, and job opportunities. And some of those job opportunities can be the kind of thing that you've discussed.
People are saying that where the money would come from for that, sir?
The money would come from the fiscal resources of the country. We may have to look at, for example, our capital budget, which has been expanded. When we've built out the South Coast Highway project that we're building now, and we have a road network, yes, we'll always have to maintain our road network, but it may be that new major road projects must be deprioritized, and investing in the youth and the children of the country must be prioritized. I mean, that is a generational investment that will help to solve the crime problem that we have.
Clear statement. Last question before you go and sign the condolence book for the late Colin Powell, great Jamaican, great friend of all Jamaicans. People listening to us from the diaspora, concerned about engagement in Jamaica, they have to stay there, many of them, for all the reasons we know, but dying to be involved, concerned about the politics. Why should they notice the PNP? And how?
Well, we have made some recent changes which I think are significant from that perspective. We've always had a commission within the party for international affairs. We've renamed it the International and Diaspora Affairs Commission, and it's co-chaired by a very competent, lovely lady based in Florida, an immigration lawyer.
Delia Walker Huntington.
Yeah, Delia Walker Huntington is co-chairing it, and we're looking to amend our constitution to enable persons who are not Jamaicans who are not on the voters list here to nevertheless participate in the party and become members. So we want to expand our reach into the diaspora by allowing persons who want to join the party to do so, not just through the affiliates that are there, but directly if they so wish. And we're generally trying to deepen the levels of engagement. I have been on numerous Zoom calls with diaspora groups, both in the US and Canada and the UK, and I intend to continue that. And once travel becomes a little less burdensome with COVID and so on, I want to be visiting those countries so I can speak to people one-on-one. So we don't just see this as an exercise in fundraising for the party, as important as that is, but we see the diaspora as a huge resource base for the country.
But why the PNP? They're asking, why they should link the PNP rather than the JLP or anybody else?
Well, I think because we are making these efforts and we do see the diaspora as a critical partner going forward, and we want respectful engagement from them. We want them to be on our task forces that support our spokespersons, on our party commissions looking at human rights, looking at policy and all of those things. And secondly, because we believe that we are the party that is looking to tackle the really fundamental issues that are affecting the Jamaican society and that are holding us back, and focusing on solutions for that. And we've been discussing some of those issues today, Ronnie. And I think the JLP has a different vision, and then we really see people as the center of policy. And investment in our people is going to be what we really focus on. It's not going to happen overnight, Ronnie, but it is very important we start looking at development through the lens of the people and, of course, the environment, because that's another critical area.
Would you support a constitutional amendment that provided at least a seat in the Senate?
Absolutely.
For diaspora
and I've been in discussions with the diaspora groups on that. I think it's doable. I think that we could have diaspora representation in the Senate without upsetting the important and delicate balance that the Constitution has fashioned for avoiding dominance on critical issues by the governing party of the day. But I think it can be done, and we are committed to it.
Are you willing to even consider a discussion of a discernment on the issue of this dual citizenship, where a person in Canada has the right to be a candidate in Jamaica, but a person living 5 miles across the border can't?
Absolutely. I mean, that is a historical anomaly which is no longer relevant, and it's an anachronism. Yeah. And I do think that particular rule that precludes dual citizens from being eligible to serve in our parliament that needs to be addressed.
Needs to be reconsidered.
Yeah.
Mark Golding, leader of the PNP, leader of the opposition as well. Thanks so much. We long to expose the ideas of progressive politics to the people in the diaspora.
Yes.
Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, man. Big up all of the people in the tri-state area.
Yes.
I'm glad to have been able to share with you, and so glad that you have one of the premier journalists of Jamaica and a man who has given so much to his country in so many areas. Great Ronnie Thwaites.
Hear that now.
With you. Respect you, Ronnie.
All the best. Good. Soon come back on The Public Eye.